All right, get this. Newcastle United last season, kings of the goal, right? 85 goals in the Premier League. This season, it's a different story.
It is.
Completely different story. We're talking a goals drought of epic proportions. 4 matches.
Yeah.
0 goals from open play. I mean, it's got everyone scratching their heads.
Yeah.
And we are on the case today.
Yeah.
Expert speaker. We've got articles. We've got match analysis. We are going deep to figure out what is going on.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's, I guess, dust for fingerprints at the crime scene of the pitch, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it is perplexing, especially considering how dominant they were last season.
Dominant is the word. I remember watching them thinking, is anyone going to stop these guys?
Yeah.
And now, I mean, almost 450 minutes of just silence.
Silence is the right word for it.
From the front line. Alan Shearer even.
Yeah.
Even Alan Shearer's calling them out.
He is.
And if he thinks it's bad.
I mean, Shearer's comments, they were pointed, right? But he's not wrong. I mean, they're creating chances, but the finishing is, well, let's just be grateful that their defense has been solid because those missed opportunities
Oh, tell me about it.
could be disastrous.
It's like they walk past a mirror and bam, 7 years bad luck, right?
Right.
But this isn't superstition. We're talking tactics. We're talking data. What's the data telling us?
Well, the data doesn't lie, and it's telling us that, well, this recent match against Brighton is the perfect example. They had 21 goal attempts.
21.
21. And 45 entries into the penalty area, and they lost to a single goal.
Okay, see, now this is what's making my brain melt a little bit, right?
Yeah.
21 shots, and they can't buy a goal. I mean, statistically speaking,
It's almost improbable.
it's like there's an invisible wall in front of the goal or something.
You're right. The quantity is there, but the quality of those chances, that's the question. And it points to a few potential culprits, right? Like the midfield's creativity
Okay.
or the lack thereof, you know?
Yeah.
Isak's isolation up front, maybe even just their opponents adapting to their tactics from last season.
Okay, so we've got leads. Let's start with the midfield. What's the story there? Are they just not getting the ball forward effectively?
Well, I mean, think back to last season. Newcastle's midfield, it was a machine.
It was a well-oiled machine.
Right, creating chances left and right. This season, it's a little bit,
Sputtering.
yeah, a little bit. The service into the box, it's not as consistent. The movement off the ball, you know, that interplay, that used to unlock defenses. It's just not there.
Not as sharp as it used to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the engine room is sputtering a little bit.
Yeah.
What about Isak, though? World-class striker, right?
Oh, he is.
Surely he can create something out of nothing.
Well,
I saw that clip of him after the last match, practically begging his teammates for precision. That's a man under pressure.
he is, and you can't expect him to single-handedly manufacture these goals every single match. And then when we look at his heat map from this season, it's a little worrying.
Oh, how so?
Well, last season, he was central, always in the box, threatening. This season, he's having to drift wide, far from goal, create his own chances.
So not only is the service inconsistent, but you're saying their main weapon is having to, forage for scraps instead of being served this, prime cut, perfect meal.
Exactly.
That's not a recipe for goals.
Not at all.
It's a tough spot, right? He's a world-class striker, but even world-class strikers need some help.
Right, not miracle workers.
Exactly. And speaking of not being miracle workers, Eddie Howe must be feeling the pressure here, right? I mean, what's his take on all of this? Is he acknowledging there's an issue, or is it all, oh, don't worry, the goals will come?
I think he's kind of walking a tightrope, you know? On the one hand, he's saying, look, we're creating chances, the team's playing well overall. But on the other, he's calling out the lack of goals. I think he even said it's not a good stat, which, no, it's not a good stat. So I think he's trying to project confidence, but you gotta wonder if there's a little bit of,
A little bit of
worry creeping in there for sure.
Yeah. You can't blame him for trying to, keep the team's spirits up. But this isn't just a blip at this point.
Yeah.
This is a full-blown trend. And to make matters worse, even teams that are really struggling for wins, Wolves, Everton, they're outscoring Newcastle.
That's the thing. And those are teams battling relegation.
Yeah. In fact, Wolves, I think they've got almost double
Yeah.
the goals from open play.
It's a tough one to swallow for sure if you're a Newcastle fan.
Yeah, talk about a fall from grace.
Yeah.
You did mention another potential culprit, though. Opponents adapting to Newcastle's tactics. What's changed since last season?
Well, last season, Newcastle, they took everyone by storm, right?
They did.
Nobody was ready for their energy, that high press, the quick transitions, those fluid attacks. And this season, well, the league's caught up, haven't they? Teams have done their homework, they're sitting deeper, they're defending more compactly, they're closing down those spaces much quicker, so there's just less space for those Newcastle attackers to work with.
So it's not just about what Newcastle's not doing.
Right.
It's about the opponents, like stepping up their game.
Exactly.
They've had a whole season now to analyze Newcastle, figure out the weaknesses, how to counter their strengths. It's like the league's figured out the cheat codes or something.
Yeah, they've figured out the blueprint, haven't they?
They have.
And that's the real challenge for Newcastle now. It's about adaptation, it's about evolution.
Yeah.
They need to find new ways to unlock these defenses. They can't rely on the element of surprise anymore. They need to be less predictable. They need to be more versatile.
More
creative, exactly.
Easier said than done, of course, but let's try and, delve deeper into these potential solutions a little bit. We've talked about the midfield needing to, maybe get jump-started a little bit.
Right.
Isak needs more support. What can Howe do? Tactically speaking, are there any levers he can pull?
Yeah.
We've seen him experiment before.
They have.
It's like one of those puzzle boxes, right? Where you think you're getting close, and then the pieces change on Yai.
Right.
But every puzzle's got to have a solution.
Exactly.
So let's brainstorm here. Tactically speaking, are there any levers that Hal can pull at this point?
Well, there are a few things he could try, right?
Right.
We've seen him experiment a little bit with the formation, right?
Yeah.
There were glimpses last season of that 4-4-2,
Right.
which would, give Isak a partner up front, someone to play off of.
Right, take some of the pressure off.
Exactly, yeah.
Yep.
And potentially, open up some more passing lanes as well.
Yeah, I remember that match against Leicester last season, right? When they played with two up top, it was like their defense was made of paper.
Exactly.
They just ripped right through it.
Yep. That's the kind of thing that, could really make a difference.
Okay, so less isolation for Isak, a bit more unpredictability in the attack.
Right.
Formations can only take you so far, though, right?
Sure. Yeah.
What about individual player instructions? Can you squeeze more creativity out of this current midfield? Or is this just a, January transfer window kind of situation?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
I think there's definitely room for improvement, right? From the midfielders,
Yeah.
in terms of their movement, their decision-making. Maybe instructing them to take a few more risks, Try those through balls, try those riskier passes that can unlock defenses.
Yeah, although that comes with the risk of turnovers as well, right?
Of course. But sometimes you've got to gamble a little bit to get the reward.
Fortune favors the bold,
Exactly.
as they say. And hey, let's not forget set pieces.
Oh, absolutely.
Newcastle last season, such a threat from those dead ball situations, right?
For sure.
It's an area where they can still punish teams, even if, open play is proving to be a little bit more difficult.
100%. And those are the kind of goals that can really, turn a game around.
Change momentum.
Exactly.
Yeah, a little bit of precision, a little bit of timing.
And a bit of luck too, right? You need that luck.
Always need a bit of luck, and maybe a little bit of that Newcastle grit that we saw so much of last season, right?
Absolutely. They need to rediscover that fire.
Yeah, exactly. And they've got some tough fixtures coming up. You look at that Chelsea match.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one.
If they can find a way to rediscover their scoring form against a team like Chelsea, that could be the confidence boost they need.
No doubt about it.
Big time.
Yeah, these next few matches, they're crucial for Newcastle. They need to find a way to turn the tide.
Right.
Rediscover that swagger in front of goal. The talent is there, the potential, it's all there.
It is.
It's just about execution at this point.
All right, Newcastle fans, there you have it. The mystery of the missing goals, partially solved. Keep an eye on that midfield.
Midfield's key.
E6 support system and those set pieces.
Oh yeah, set pieces are huge.
Who knows? Maybe January transfer window, you get a shiny new goal scorer at St. James's Park.
You never know.
One thing's for sure, though, this season is far from over. We will be watching every single twist and turn with bated breath. Until next time, as always, keep the faith and keep digging for those deeper insights.